This is a podcast presented by EDM310 students Caitlin Callahan,
Brittany Enright,
and Meredith Fondren.
This is a podcast covering chapters 1, 2, and 4 of Teach Like Your Hair is on Fire. This book is a bestseller by Rafe Eswood about his successful methods in helping shape children to be happy and self-confident people. Rafe is a well-respected teacher, and the following is a summary of his approach on several issues that can affect classroom environment. Chapter 1. Rafe believes that the classroom should be built on trust, not fear. Rafe says that most teachers manage their classrooms by fear, but there is a better way. Rafe believes that if a classroom has poor management, that children will not improve critical thinking, character cannot be built, and good citizenship cannot be fostered. Rafe gives 4 actions that can ensure a better atmosphere in classrooms and replaces fears with trust. 1. Replace fear with trust. Rafe says that on the first day of class, he discussed trust with students. Rafe says that he puts trust in his students, telling them if they miss an assignment, tell them it's okay. If they break something, tell them it happens. He says to also let them know that a broken trust is irreparable. It can take years to build someone's trust back. He says that a student who breaks trust should also have the opportunity to earn it back. As trust goes in the teacher, it is important to stay patient. A positive response to questions builds immediate trust. 2. Children depend on us, so be dependable. Rafe gives the example of a teacher who promises a chip all year long for good behavior. When the end of the year came around, she moved and never took them on the trip. This soured the students' opinion of her and of teachers as a whole. A broken trust should be avoided at all costs. Being constantly dependable is the best way to build trust. Why do you think that it is important to be dependable to gain trust? Brittany?
because if you're unreliable, why would your students trust you?
Meredith?
If your students do not trust you, they will not have your respect. You gain respect by earning it, and to earn it, you have to be dependable.
3. Discipline must be logical. Rafe says that if a student misbehaves in art class, then don't punish the whole class from recess. Students do not mind a tough teacher, but they despise an unfair one. Rafe claims to make his activities in class so exciting that when a student is misbehaving in science, they are asked to watch the activity from the sidelines as punishment. Do you think this is an effective way to discipline students, Meredith?
I think it is because it makes a connection for the student.
Brittany?
Yes, because it takes the child out of the activity that they are misbehaving in. A child would not understand why they could not go to recess for misbehaving in science, so it does make a connection.
4. You are a role model. Rafe talks about a teacher who is constantly late and always on her phone. Rafe says that these actions tell her students that she does not care about them. Rafe says that it is always important to remember that you are a role model. And as a young teacher, he was always angry and frustrated. He says that if you become angry over the little things, the big issues are never addressed. It is important to stay calm and seize opportunities to be a role model, even when frustrated. If you create a firm but friendly refuge and you are always reasonable, your students will have the opportunity to grow into confident and happy human beings.
Now we will discuss Chapter 2. The major points in Chapter 2 are Lawrence Kohlberg's 6th level of moral development. Level 1 is titled, I don't want to get in trouble, behaving and doing things to avoid punishment. Level 2 is titled, I want a reward, behaving when promised a reward. Level 3 is titled, I want to please someone, behaving to gain someone's approval. Level 4 is titled, follow the rules, behaving because the rules say so. Level 5 is titled, I am considerate of other people, being considerate at all times. Level 6 is titled, I have a personal code of behavior and I follow it. Highest and most sought out level, having ultimate humility. A quiz strives to reach level 6 in Kohlberg's 6 levels and does this in every aspect of his life. His techniques are very interesting and worth trying. When children decide to be a good student and person, it makes your teaching experience and their learning experience that much more enjoyable. When children are courteous and enjoy learning, they become better students for the rest of their lives. How can these levels help your classroom dynamics, Brittany?
It creates a more effective learning environment when the students behave because they choose to.
Caitlin?
If you understand the levels, it will help you manage your classroom at all of the different levels.
Esquith gives a good tips on how to explain the levels of moral development to the students in an easy and effective way. He gives the example to find movies or real-life examples that help the students understand these levels. The hardest level to explain is the 6th level because most small children don't understand the act of humility. The 6th level is the most sought out because it teaches the children to do good acts but also not to boast about the acts. Can you use these levels outside of the classroom also? Brittany?
Yes. You can use these levels in families and it'd work rather successfully.
Caitlin?
I believe it could also be helpful in families, at church, sporting events, or anything that is done outside of school.
Esquith doesn't always succeed in molding the children into ideal people. He explains that former students have come back to his school and vandalized his car and classroom with smoke bombs. He may not always succeed, but these levels prove to provide a great model for creating well-rounded human beings.
Now we will discuss Chapter 4 of Rafe Esquith's novel, Teach Like Your Hair is on Fire, which is titled Writing. Rafe points out that he has observed a notable decrease in the level of his students' writing skills over the years. Rafe states the following at the beginning of his book: texting, email, and cultural influence might be to blame for the lack of writing skills seen in students over the years. Why do you think writing literacy has become less important over the years? Are there any other factors that you can think of that may be to blame for why writing skills have decreased? Caitlin?
I believe that students may not be getting adequate time to practice their writing skills.
Meredith?
Teachers are already pressed for time in their classrooms. They need to make sure that they make the time to teach students how to write correctly.
Rafe Esquith provides 4 steps in his classroom to help his students improve their writing skills. Step 1 is grammar. Rafe starts his class off with a grammar exercise every morning. The students work diligently so that they do not have to take work home with them. Rafe reasons that it is more conducive to do work in the classroom where you have peers and teachers to consult. The home environment provides too many possible distractions that interfere with the learning process. Rafe Esquith has his students rewrite their assignments if they score under a 90% on their morning grammar assignments. What do you think of his teaching method, Caitlin?
It makes the students take their time while they are completing their work.
Meredith?
He also fosters a positive learning environment within his classroom. The students who understand the assignment help those who are having difficulty.
Step 2 and 3 of Rafe Esquith's writing improvement goals are essay of the week and monthly book report. Upon receiving input from past students he has taught, Rafe realized that he did not teach his students time management skills. To fix this problem, Rafe incorporated the essay of the week and the monthly book report into his classroom assignments. With assignments due in a week or even in a month, students will have to learn how to space out their time properly in order to complete their assignments. Learning these skills at such a young age will help students immensely when they further their education. Step 4 is called the Young Authors Project. Rafe Esquith has incorporated the Young Authors Project in his classroom. Students are asked to write a book of their own during the course of a year. He mentions that it is important to have most of the work for the book completed while the children are in the classroom. By allowing the time to work on the books while in the classroom, the students will not feel rushed to complete their assignment. This will give the students time to develop their stories and improve their writing skills. Rafe also makes sure that he sets aside a time to individually help his students edit their papers. This is a project that will definitely take time and effort to implement into the classroom, but is worthwhile and memorable. Thank you for listening to this podcast, which covered chapters 1, 2, and 4 of Teach Like Your Hair is on Fire. We would like to thank Rafe Esquith, author of Teach Like Your Hair is on Fire, and also Amazon.com.